Hi, everybody. I'm Julie from MAISON Jupiter, and tonight I'm also Julie from BeyondMystic because I'll be hosting this amazing episode of Divine Feminine Oracle. So, this is going to be a very special episode because I've got my two sisters right here with me for the episode tonight. So, one is my real sister in this lifetime, and the other one is my sister from another lifetime. So, hi, Sophie, and hi, Meg. How are you doing, Sophie, first of all?
Good, you?
Very good. And hi, Meg. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm doing very well. Very happy to be here with you guys.
Yeah, me too. I think this is
Yeah.
going to be a great discussion.
hmm
We're going to talk about soulmate energy and Venus and Pisces because we have both Venus and Neptune in the sign of Pisces coming up for Valentine's Day mid-February. So I think this is a very interesting subject because I feel like relationships are coming even more in, let's say, on the center stage of our conversations these days. I don't know if it's just me, but I'll ask you guys what you think have been coming up in your consultations. But before we do so, first of all, hi everybody watching, hi everybody in the chat. We'll take some questions more towards the end of the show. So if ever you have something to ask, write in caps so it's going to be easier for me to spot. And since I'm not a uh, excellent multitasker, I'll try to spot some questions from the chat for later on. But yes, so I'm doing JC's job tonight. He wasn't able to make it for tonight, so I'll do my best. So before we start, please like, share, and subscribe to, well, first of all, Beyond Mystic's YouTube channel right here. And we're simulcasting also to Maison Jupiter's channel. So please like, share, and subscribe to both channels. And yeah, so Meg, first of all, let's start with
hmm
you. I know you had a lot of astral consultations
Yeah.
lately. Um, what do you see a common theme recently? Do you feel like people are more interested in relationships lately?
hmm
Like, do you see this shift because we're about to be entering the month of February, which is Valentine's Day, and with Venus entering Pisces, do you see some kind of a shift there?
Definitely. I think people really want partnerships that are on the same page. I'm noticing in consultations, it's really becoming more and more apparent that we need to be having, friends and romantic partners that are really on the same wavelength, or there's some sort of common ground, there's some sort of common vibration. And it's becoming, I think, more and more challenging with the timelines splitting that I know a lot of us have been talking about in our different videos,
Right.
to be kind of with someone who's on a totally different timeline. It can feel really trippy. So, yeah, I'm noticing people want to know how to attract the right partner that's on the same page. That's a really big theme.
Very interesting. Yes, I feel it too. Sophie, on your side,
Not so much on my side.
not
So
so much on your side?
now on my consultation, some question about love. So recently it's more than usual, but it's not the main focus right now. So last week, I think we talked about the focus on health. I see it more in the consultation, but I wonder, chicken or the egg, in a sense that since we talked about it, is that what people think about when they met me in the consultation? But not
Mhm.
so much about just love. I see a lot of moving. I see a lot of health. I see a lot of children. So more the Leo energy in the house energy, but not so much just on love.
Okay,
Mm.
interesting. Maybe it's gonna be, I don't know, I'm just assuming, maybe it's gonna be stronger near the 15th where the conjunction is more exact. So we'll see. And since I have you on the screen, I saw your Beyond Tarot show on Beyond Mystic's channel yesterday. That was amazing. And you were talking about how we're shifting from, let's say, the purge energy,
Yeah.
and you saw there was like a drastic shift in the energy. So do you see it so far in your consultations, or is there like it's just the start maybe of this new energy?
No, I already see it for maybe 2-3 weeks. We're getting out of this dark and dense and really heavy energy more and more. I see Meg's face. I think she's she's saying, "Oh yeah, I see it too." Maybe. We're getting out of that heavier energy. We're getting slowly into the new lighter energy. Everybody is having a different natal chart. Everybody's wired differently and have different circumstances in their lives. So you're going to feel it on different timeline and different area of your life, but we're heading there. And right now the focus is probably more on making space in your life to welcoming the new energy. So because we were so stuck for so long, Mars and Mercury retrograde, the energy was really like a tiger turning in his cage. It was really not moving, and it was really like purging the old. But now it's simply okay, so now you know what you don't want anymore in your life. You have purged a lot. Just make sure that you also make space in your day-to-day life. So I gave the example Monday. If you want to attract a partner, for example, because it's going to be love, the main area that is going to be light in the astrology, make sure that you have a nightstand that is empty in your bedroom. Make sure that you have some closet space also. Make sure that when you are asking for something, you do have the time and the space in your life right now to have it. Declutter also your schedule if you want to have time for the kids or things like that.
Interesting. Meg, did you have anything to ask to what Sophie was saying?
Yeah, that really resonates a lot when you say that. I heard you say that in the weekly reading, and you saying it again. It's like such a full body yes. Like we do need to make space when we want something new. And, you know, we're so kind of, I feel like, programmed in the matrix world to not make space and to just stick with what's safe and the way that things are, you know, and the certain possessions we have and the certain clothes we wear. But like you said, when we make space and follow our heart and trust in that, then we can let in new relationships, new energy, new self-love too. It's such a powerful point.
Yeah. Thank you, Meg. So before we dive even deeper into this soulmate energy with Venus and Neptune in Pisces, first of all, I just wanted to say that there's some bookings available either for Sophie, if you are looking for a tarot, oracle, and psychic reading. She has 1 hour spots. Or the priority reading, which is 30 minutes. So Sophie, do you have some more priority booking available?
I kept one for tomorrow that I will open right after this show tonight. And I kept it for people watching this show. If you have something that you cannot wait, I will open one tomorrow morning.
So, only one?
Only one, because otherwise it will go at the end of the week. But I kept one that I really wanted for this show tonight.
Okay, and the 1 hours, where are we looking at right now?
I think we're at the middle of March. I think so.
Okay, cool. And if you are looking for astrology consultations, there are spots available with Meg. So either the 1 hour and a half, which is the birth chart astrology reading consultation with Meg. So she's looking at your whole birth chart, answering your personal questions, also about like all aspects of your life, how the energies play out. And also, I think it's oriented towards life mission, right, Meg? Am I right?
Yeah.
Great. And also the 1 hour personal forecast. So looking at the year ahead, according to your birth chart and the transits, so you can look better at what energies are going to come into your life, and also timing related questions are going to be great for that kind of appointment. So where are we looking at for the dates, Meg, for either appointments?
For the 1 year personal forecast readings, I think we have availability starting in May or June. And then the birth chart readings, I've made more availability for starting in April.
Okay.
So yeah.
Great.
Pretty booked until then.
Yeah.
Thank you,
She's
Sophie.
really amazing. I had the chance to have a reading with her, and she is wonderful. You want a reading with her?
Oh yeah,
Thank
both of
you.
you, I have to say. I had the
Yeah.
chance, the honor to have readings with both of you. And I feel very, very lucky. And both of you are so talented. Whenever I have questions, I have my two soul sisters, and I'm very happy to have them by my side. So thank you guys. And you can use also Beyond Mystic for a 10% off. So Beyond with Mystic in one word. So, and oh, before I start, I was going to forget something. I have a pyramid for one of our audience member tonight. So I'm just gonna see. Yes, so it's the Rosa pyramid, and Carla made this one in order to have more harmonious connection for relationships. So it is a white quartz here, and we have carnelian with aluminum here. So this is a beautiful pyramid, and it's very much in the theme of our relationship theme for tonight. So thank you very much, Carla, for this amazing pyramid. And yeah, so let's dive in our main subject for tonight. Venus in Pisces and the soulmate energy. I'm just going to switch my side. So from January 26th, Venus entered the sign of Pisces. So it's going to stay there until February 20th. So Neptune is and will still be in the sign of Pisces because it's a very slow moving planet, and we'll have an exact conjunction between the two bodies on February 15th, so very close to Valentine's Day. And usually, personally, I don't really celebrate Valentine's Day. For me, it has no really big meaning, but I thought it was very, very, very interesting that it came so close to the 14th. It's not every year that we have like such an amazing loving energy in astrology.
Should we start by explaining what is a soulmate?
Yeah, let me just go ahead and yeah, we'll talk about that just after the slide. I'll ask you, Sophie, because I think it's going to be a very interesting question to answer. And don't forget, guys, if you have questions, just put it in caps in the chat and we'll try to answer some at the end. Not the end, but like towards the end, second part of the show. So, well, first of all, both Venus and Neptune are very artistic planets. So, so I think it's a very good energy for anything that's very artistic driven. So if you're looking for more inspiration, if you're looking for creating something that's very artistic, this is a great energy. So whenever Venus is in the sign of Pisces, and especially when it's in the same sign as Neptune, you can be sure that inspiration can come in many, many forms. Also, it's also an energy of romantic, dreamy, and very loving planets. So great for romance, great for love. I know there's, let's say, more shadow sides about that, and we're going to talk about that later on with Meg. But just stating all the different themes that can come up with that. Also, there could be some lessons about unconditional love because Neptune is the planet that removes boundaries, and Pisces also. So whenever we have those kind of energy very much activated, either in our birth chart or activating some area in our birth chart with the transits, there's not always, but mostly always a type of lesson about what's unconditional love, and not necessarily in the easy way, let's just say. Sometimes it's through more hardships that make us realize that we're worthy, we're loved, even though the 3D, let's say, expression of this energy is very different from, let's say, the 5D expression of unconditional love. Also, it's a great energy for healing relationships with women. Neptune is the planet of forgiveness. Venus is the planet of women. So there could be a lot of healing between women connection around this time. Yes. Also, soulmate reunions, and we're going to talk about in just a second what is a real soulmate. And we can see, I think, also people from past lives coming in around this time, because Pisces is like beyond the veil type of energy. And also soulmates visitations. I wrote reunions in dreams because both Pisces and Neptune talk about dreams. So it's not necessarily coming in the physical realm. It could also be in during your dreams, having messages, having telepathic exchanges. So it's everything that is not necessarily integrated in the material world. And also another thing that I think Meg is very in tune with, because she's a musician also. So integrating some music, because Neptune talks about music, sound or frequency healing can be really great for this conjunction. But all the time, Venus is also in Pisces. So, and we're going to talk about the meditation tomorrow, which is the singing bowl. So it's like the perfect timing for that kind of healing modality. And lastly, anything that involves water can be very healing. So taking a bath, let's say traveling somewhere near water, using water for healing in general could be really, really good around this time.
Even drinking water apparently channel the Pisces energy, and it purge also. So this is really good, just to drink water.
Yeah, you're totally right. And since I have you on the screen, Sophie, I'm going to start with you. Can you explain, in your opinion, what is a soulmate? Is it truly like a romantic connection? Can it be otherwise? Do you have one? Do you have many? Like, what's your take on the soulmate?
So we do have many. I don't know for you guys, but well, Julie, I can tell because we had the same parents, so we do have the same image of what is a soulmate. I think so from our childhood. But what is the main image of a soulmate? It's come from religion. It comes from a person that has 4 arms and 4 legs, and it was split in 2, and then you have to find that other half of you that is your soulmate, and there is only one. So this is the image that we have from religion, but we kept that image that there is only one. There is multiple ones, and they're not only just romantic. A soulmate for me is somebody you know from past lives, and that you don't have bad karma to heal. You do not reunite in this life, in this incarnation, to finish harsh lesson. You came here just to help each other, just by love, to help each other grow in good intention. It doesn't mean it will last forever. It doesn't mean that this is the only one for you. And it doesn't mean it's romantic at each time. Sometimes it's with pets. Sometimes it's a teacher, parents, friends, any kind of relationship can be a soulmate. But the main thing for me is that you don't come here to set some kind of karma. You don't come here to finish unfinished business.
So thank you for that. And then it brings us to this next, let's say, archetypal field of the twin flame, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Stella here is asking, what's the difference between soulmates and twin flames? So I know many people have different answers to this question, but I'd like to know your answer, Sophie. What's the difference in your opinion?
For me, a twin flame, it's a difficult contract that you enter with someone in between lifetime when you plan your incarnation. Normally, this is somebody that has the same higher self as you, so you come from the same source. But some can argue that we all are from the same source, so that's why we have different version of it. But there's something similar in your souls, and when you meet each other, it's so strong that you activate each other in your mission. And that's why most of the time it's really harsh, because you do not stand in that intensity for a long time. You do have to meet. It's really intense. It's short, but it activates you in such a beautiful way that you have to do your work to get in your mission, to get better. And then maybe later on you reunite and then it can last, but it's really rare. And some can also argue that in some version you can stay together, but honestly, the twin flame is known for the chaser and the runner. So you do have someone chasing the other one all the time, or in most of the cases, because it's so intense that you do have to split to do your work on your own.
Interesting. Meg, I'd like to know, what are you thinking about the soulmate concept, about the twin flame concept? Do you have the same idea, Sophie? Do you have another take on it?
Mm-hmm.
Please
Well,
enlighten.
yeah, everything Sophie said really, really resonated. I think when it comes to soulmates, to me, a soulmate is someone that we're soul connected to on a very deep level. So whether that's, like Sophie said, a romantic partner or a pet or a friend or teacher or whatever, it's where we feel that kinship. And it reminds me of there's a word in ancient Celtic, I think it's Gaelic, called Anam Cara. It's this saying, Anam Cara, and it means soul friend, soulmate. So when we feel that Anam Cara energy, it's when I met you guys for the first time in person, it felt like I had known you for
Yeah.
so long, right? So it's like that kind of energy. So I think soulmates are soul connections that we have. And then I also agree with you, Sophie, what you said about the twin flames. I think it's extremely rare. And I think that in spirituality, and particularly the new age part of spirituality, there's a lot of implanted information to try to confuse us and get us off course. And I don't think it is very common. And I think I do notice with clients and friends, it's like a really big deal. I want to be with my twin flame, and it's like, that's actually really, really rare. You have to be at like a really certain level to
But do
get
you think
that.
it's rare to have a twin flame, or do you think it's rare to unite both on the same incarnation with your twin flame?
I think you can meet a twin flame on the same incarnation, but to have a relationship with a twin flame that's healthy, I think that is very rare.
Mm.
Because there has to be a lot that's been working out
Yeah.
on both ends. And I feel like it can happen, but I don't think it's as common as people say it is. And also, we've been in this age of Pisces, right? And Pisces is the sign that is exalted. Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? So
Right.
in astrology, we have like every planet has a home sign. And then every planet has something called an exaltation sign, which is like its second most favorite place to be. So Venus, the planet of love, likes Pisces, right? So I feel like with the age of Pisces, love has been a really big theme. And because we've kind of been in this age of deception, if you will, as Pisces wasn't really in the start of like Aquarius, the light age, I just feel intuitively a lot has been hidden about the truth of twin flames. And I think a lot of that is going to be coming out in the coming years. Like, how can we actually be with our twin flame? What's the truth behind that? Because it's very esoteric, and I feel like a little bit airy-fairy at the moment.
Right. So interesting. And do you think that since Venus is exalted in the sign of Pisces, and we are transitioning out of the age of Pisces, do you think it was used, like romance and connecting with a soulmate was used to ascend spiritually? How do you see the role of twin flames as per our twin flame slash soulmate as our spiritual ascension process? How do you see that?
Well, I think it's really interesting because in a lot of the religions and spiritual texts, when they talk about ascension, the art that's depicted is of people together in a relationship going to heaven. It's always like a man and a woman or whatever relationship. I don't think it has to be a man or a woman, but two people together conjoining that balance of the two forces, whoever is the divine part, divine feminine part and divine male part. There's something about those forces coming together that actually helps you ascend and go to the next level. So I think it's actually one of the biggest parts of spiritual awakening and spirituality is to be able to be in a healthy relationship.
Oh my God, Sophie, it's so crazy. I was just thinking about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And if you do the tarot course, so if you know about tarot, you know that this is the only one that is in the light, but we do have one really similar. Julie, you know where I'm going with that?
Wow.
Yeah.
It's
Look
a
at
mirror thing,
that.
so I have to really think about it. Okay.
The devil and the lover is right.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I just want to do a small interruption to what you were
That's
saying,
okay.
Meg, on this. I think that can resonate with twin flame and with soulmate here, because when you do have a soulmate, or well, not a soulmate, because a soulmate wants to do it in the good intention. But when you do have any connection that turns into something sour and into something toxic, you're not meant to stay. If you stay, you're
Wow.
staying in the devil energy. Any soul contract, any soul contract that you have that turns, that this person is using their free will to turn this toxic, your contract is void right away. You don't have to stay. In fact, if you stay, you create karma.
Yeah.
And going back to this devil card, it made me think of, let's say, what we call karmic relationship, as opposed to,
Yeah.
well, we can also argue that a soulmate can play the role as a karmic relationship, like giving you hard lessons also. That could be argued, because let's say on the other side, our souls can be all friends and we all decide to incarnate ourselves as being some kind of teachers. So that can be in a more positive way, but that can be also in a harsh way, in my opinion. So the devil card makes me think of karmic relationships. And like, usually when people are like, oh my God, I think I met my twin flame, it's actually very often a karmic relationship as opposed to a twin flame. So what's your take on that, Meg? I'm gonna get back to you here because we just interrupted what you were gonna say.
Yeah, no, that's okay. I forgot what I was going to say, but
Sorry.
that's okay. I feel that was a really good point. Like the difference between a unhealthy, toxic, karmic relationship, which I've had some of those. I'm a Scorpio, so I attract weird stuff, right? So there's that, and then a healthy soulmate relationship where there are challenges because there are lessons to go through. And I think that that's one of the really challenging things with the soulmate twin flame topic with people is differentiating, okay, what's a toxic soulmate relationship and then what's a healthy soulmate relationship, but there's challenges for soul's growth. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
So I feel like from my journey so far, my personal experience in working with clients, if someone is kind of like draining us or they're not on the same vibration or there's unhealthy patterns going on, then it's toxic. Then it's not really, a good in alignment soulmate. But if it's a soulmate relationship where there's just challenges of life, like for example, my fiance and I are from different countries. And the past 2 years, like I had to make the decision to go over to Belgium to be with him. So that's not really a toxic thing. It was because the borders were closed. And, thank you, Justin Castro, for that. But, it's like, that's not a toxic karma thing. It's a challenge that actually made me stronger. So does that make sense? There's like differences.
Well, and correct me if I'm wrong, but also the fact that you made this change, I think, brought you closer to your actual path and your life mission. And I feel like your fiance really supports you in that sense. So that might be also another way how we can figure out if it's a relationship that's going to help us on our path. Is it more a karmic thing that we have to close the loop for future lifetimes? Do you agree with that?
I agree with that. Yeah.
And Sophie, do you have other, let's say, tools or like intuitive advice as to how to recognize, let's say, a karmic relationship as opposed to, let's say, a soulmate relationship, someone that's going to be in your life for the long term or someone that's going to be here just for a short term?
So yes and no. Yes, in a sense that I would use a lot of astrology to know if this is a person that is in a relationship with your fifth house, boyfriend or girlfriend, or something that is going to be committed. But I would like to add something also on the twin flame. I think that since it's so rare that you really end up in a committed relationship with your twin flame, it's possible that in this life, not for everyone, some people will have soulmates in between, but sometimes when you have a soulmate, when you have a twin flame, it's because you do have a soul contract in this life to be in your own power, to be activated and to stand in your own power, and maybe to be single for a while. So I think that's for some of you, when you have a twin flame, because like Meg was saying, it's so rare to be in a relationship with them. It's maybe because you do have to really discover what it means to be in your own power. And that can also be if you do have your North Node in Aries, for example, that you do have to explore how to be you in your own power, saying what is my boundary, what is myself, without a committed relationship. Does that make sense?
Oh my God, Sophie, you're like reading my mind tonight. It's crazy because this weekend I was with one of my good friends, and he has his North Node in Aries. So I was just telling him exactly that about his South Node being in the 7th house. So if you have the South Node either in Libra or in the 7th house, I feel like for you it's not about focusing on relationships in this lifetime. It's focusing on you, individualizing as best as you can, going on your path, finding yourself, finding what you love, and then the relationships will come because you're aligned with yourself. So it's exactly what I was saying. Meg, would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. And that's the beauty of the sign of Aries, of them in astrology ruling self. They teach us how to be totally in the present moment, how to know what our value is, and to follow what resonates with us and just be ourselves fearlessly. That's what I love about Aries. And I totally agree what you said about the Aries North Node. It's true.
Libby says my North Node is in Aries. Boom. Yes. Yes, Libby. So that doesn't mean for people that have the South Node in Libra or in the 7th house that they're never going to get in a committed, healthy relationships. Very to the contrary. It's that once you learn the lessons from the Aries archetype, which is having healthy boundaries, focusing on yourself, then you're unlocking the power of the 7th house of the Libra archetype to have harmonious relationships, but not to, let's say, do the opposite and try to get in other people's energy all the time and forget about who you are. So talking about that, I think this will be another subject for tomorrow. So tomorrow, Meg and I are going to do the Astro Decode on compatible relationships on MAISON Jupiter's YouTube channel. So this is going to be tomorrow at 7 p.m. because we didn't want to overlap the meditation, which is going to be at 3 p.m. So 7 p.m. Eastern. You're all welcome, of course, to join. We will be happy to see what you guys think, to chat with you. Meg, do you have what do you think we're going to talk about tomorrow? Do you have some ideas?
That's a good question. I have a feeling, and I haven't said this to you yet, but I have a feeling that we're going to have to maybe do maybe a part 1, maybe a part 2, maybe a part 3, because when it comes to relationships in astrology, there's so much to look at. Right. And it's kind of like when people just think that, the sun sign is the only thing about astrology and they just base everything off the sun sign. It's like, no. You've got your sun, you got your moon, you got your rising, you got your North Node, you got your Chiron, Mars, like Venus, and more. And those are all very important when we're looking at relationships. So I think definitely we're going to look at some of the basic, most important things I think are important for people that maybe aren't too into astrology, because this is going to become more important to all of us to know based off our sun sign or moon sign or whatever else we're going to look at. What are our needs in relationship, and what energies do we need to be in alignment with for our highest good in this lifetime?
Yeah. So I agree with you. Moving away from solely sun sign astrology, but of course we're gonna, I think, integrate in some kind of way your sun sign. But when we're talking about relationships, the moon becomes so much more important because it's your emotional needs and where you're looking, what makes you feel safe, and right. So I feel the moon will be very important, but also Venus and Mars. So
Definitely.
Yeah. And I don't know if you agree with that, Meg, but I heard an astrologer recently say that the relationships that last the longest, it's because in their synastry, so when you combine the two charts together, they support each other's north node. So for me, that made like I was like, wow, I had like an aha moment when I read that. And I was like, because like we could talk about synastries like all day long. Different astrologers have many different theories, but I was like, that would make so much sense, because if someone is here to support your mission in this lifetime, then it makes sense that you would be like, let's say, more long-term compatible.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
I totally agree with that. And as you're saying that, I'm starting to think of like people's charts. I'm like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
So
thinking of people's charts in my head.
Sorry, Sophie, go ahead.
Does that mean that you have the same lesson, or you have some aspect? What does that mean?
I see it more as not necessarily the same lesson, but like more as a supportive role in your mission. So let's say I have my North Node in Gemini, and someone else's has, let's say, a strong Gemini, so Sun, Moon, or different planets. So for me, it's like some compatible, because they're also, they have this archetype very much energized. So maybe it's going to help support mine. So that can be one of the answers, but I'm guessing it goes a little bit deeper, and we're going to explore that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Please, yeah,
that'll be fun.
Please come and watch. It's going to be fun. Yeah, Lakeside Laura says that's a lot of Sag. Yes, I think they're responding to someone else's chat. So yeah, cool. Okay, so Sophie, since I have you here on the screen,
I'm afraid of what you're going to say.
I want a first-hand experiencer from this Pisces energy, because you have your rising sign in the sign of Pisces, and we know that Neptune's been in the sign of Pisces for a while now. So can you talk about how it is with someone who has strong Pisces? So either
no, I can't, because I cannot curse here.
You can what?
I cannot curse. I cannot use curse words. It is a pain in the...
Oh, you can use that word. It's fine for you too.
Honestly, as a Pisces rising, I find that the Neptune energy that is in the Pisces right now, it's a bit too much. Honestly, it's a bit too much. And I use it, I think, with my job in the best way that you can use that energy, because it's the veil, it's the other side. And I really use it to do mediumship, past life, and the cards. But even that, it feels like you are in a constant Mercury retrograde, that you do not see clearly, that your emotions are high. So honestly, I feel a bit drunk all the time.
Interesting. Well, at least you don't have the Neptune squaring your moon, which I have, and it's a very long transit.
Oh God.
So lots of fog, yes.
Oh my gosh.
So okay, so coming from this let's say first-hand experiencer type of perspective, do you have some kind of tool or guidance, or maybe have the cards answer the question if you can't? How people can best let's say navigate a hard Neptune transit, or just let's say Neptune in your sign or Neptune on your ascendant? If you have like a very big Neptune activation, how best to navigate it?
So how to use the best way any Neptune energy. Okay, I will switch oracle. I will use the oracle of the spirit, because we do need some guidance from them right now with the Neptune. Okay, wow. Let's take 2 tarot cards to go with this. Basically, I have this soulmate energy. If you guys don't know, I do have a key tattooed on my arm, and this is the soulmate energy. So it's really fun that we have it there tonight. And underneath, I had the 9 of Cups. So I think that how to best navigate those energy is to make sure that you also do things that you really enjoy doing, that speak to your soul, that speak to your heart. Make sure that you're also following, for once, what is it that in the fog you're sure about. So maybe you're in the fog, you cannot use per se your emotion because they're off the chart, and you cannot see clearly with the logic, but you know what is bringing joy to you, you know what is really working. So use your intuition, because that's the only thing that really will work. And someone really close to me also said, when I was in that fog a long time ago, because this is something that you can feel with many transits, when you don't see clearly, don't try to have the control, because if you don't know where you're going, don't try to be in charge of the control, release the control, let do. So like my sister would say, Jesus, take the wheel.
Let go and let God.
Yeah, exactly. So
Yes.
just don't try to control, take care of yourself, and make sure that you do things that are calling your intuition in the best way possible. So in 3D terms, because I'm still Virgo, after all, I try to take things in a really practical way. I have the snake here, forbidden, and I have 2 of wands. So you know what doesn't work, you know what sparks bad emotion, you know what sparks bad reaction inside of you. So if you don't know exactly which way is the right way, use what doesn't make sense for you, use what sparked bad energy. So you're going to feel it more, the bad energy, with that Neptune energy anyway, that Neptune transit, wherever it is, you're going to feel it more. So if you're not capable of knowing what is really giving you joy, use what is really not good for you, and don't go there at the very least, and let go and let God.
Great advice. Great advice. So I just wanted to say hi to Jean-Claude and hi to Sarah. I think Sarah's typing for Jean-Claude. They are both on the road. So love you guys. Sending you much love from the 3 of us. Thank you for watching and supporting us always, and believing in us that we could do this by ourselves tonight. So
Yes, love you.
they had an emergency, so I'm subbing for JC tonight. Thank you guys. So going back to you, Meg. So could you maybe tell us, how do you think this, let's say, Venus and Neptune in Pisces energy, what's the highest frequency, in your opinion, of how it could play out in our reality? And what do we have to watch out for? What could be the lowest frequency expression of this energy, according to you?
So Neptune in astrology is the ruler of the spiritual world, spirituality and creativity. And I really believe that our intuitive connection is also the same thing as our creative connection. I think they're both just the spiritual pathways. And so the highest expression of this Venus conjunct Neptune, Venus, the planet of love and our values, also very creative, conjunct Neptune, spirituality, is, I think this is a highly magical energy. And actually, around this time of year, every year when we have Venus in Pisces, around Valentine's Day, I think it is really magical. But particularly this year, having Neptune, it makes it, Neptune in Pisces, it's even more magical. So I feel like it's not just romance and Valentine's Day and dating and all that. It's like, it's actually really magical time for ceremony or meditation or doing a vision board, manifestation, any of those spiritual practices. This is a time where you could do like some sort of self-love meditation or ceremony to tune into what kind of partner do you want, or to look into your personal astrology or do a card reading on what kind of relationship would serve me for my highest good. It's a highly magically potent time, if that makes sense. And I noticed for myself last year when we had Neptune in Pisces with Jupiter also in Pisces, the 2 rulers of Pisces, right? The ancient ruler Neptune and the modern, ancient ruler Jupiter and modern day ruler Neptune, right? That was a super magical period. Was that in February, Julie, or March? I feel like it was.
I know Jupiter entered Pisces in December of, was it last year? Yes, not last December, but the other one. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think you're
So
right.
yeah, so that was like there were certain things that I was putting my energy towards at that time that have now manifested very
Mm.
effortlessly. So I feel like we can use this time for magical purposes, but also another high expression is the love, is the romance, is to show kind of that Venusian energy to our romantic partners or to ourself if we're not in relationship yet. And kind of just embracing that enjoyment of life, of romance and love and the pleasures of life, if you know what I mean. But I feel like the negative expression of it is we can get really into illusions, okay? Because Pisces rules illusions. We don't want to be getting into like intense drugs or drinking around this time because that'll put us in really weird places. So, because Pisces rules drugs and alcohol. So, we just want to be really aware of, like Sophie said, she feels naturally drunk a lot of the time, right? So
So no need for
yeah, we
other
don't
type of
yeah,
substances.
we don't need to go crazy. And I feel like whether you're a Pisces or not right now with this energy, particularly around that conjunction, around February 15th, if we're dating someone, if we're open to that energy of the romance and the dating, getting feedback from our loved ones, from our friends, from our family about the person that we're seeing.
Mm.
Not
Mhm.
being, I'm a Scorpio, so I'll hide secrets and not talk about it. And then someone finds out about something and it's like, Meg, that's the most effed up thing I've ever heard in my life. Like, that's not healthy, you know?
I just don't listen to any advice, so I
Yeah.
think I'll take your advice.
That's not better, Julie.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like Pisces, being a Pisces or around this time with this conjunction in Pisces, we can get really into the fantasy world about things.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'll give you guys a really random example. My first spiritual boyfriend didn't wear shoes, thought he was a reincarnated Egyptian pharaoh, and walked around with a staff. He
Wow.
didn't have a job. And I was like, I have Black Moon Lilith in Pisces and my part of fortune in Pisces. So I have a little bit of that influence in like
Ah.
strong aspects. So I was like, this is the most amazing thing ever. But everyone was telling me around me, this is really weird. Right. So I know that's like such a random example,
I love it, Meg.
but it's like if we may think someone's really like Pisces, like they're so magical, this is so cool, but then if all the people around us are going, Julie, Sophie, this is like kind of weird. If all of the people closest to us are going, this is kind of weird, that is the red flag that we need to be paying attention to.
Oh, right.
So in the Astro Decode that we did a couple weeks ago, I was like doing like funny impressions of Pisces, and I didn't mean to offend any of you guys. I genuinely love Pisces so much, and you guys are the magical creatures out of all of us. But the challenge for some of you guys, and maybe some of you guys, it's not as intense if you have some earth signs,
Mhm.
counterbalancing that in your sun or your moon or some other stuff going on. But like Sophie said, it's not the easiest energy to have because Pisces rules illusions and fantasy and daydreaming. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, sorry. And Pisces is also going to have to learn to let go of the control. And this
Yeah.
week and last week was really the week to do that for every sign. But the main lesson of a Pisces is you're going to lose things. You're going to have grieving process all of your life until you learn the harsh lesson that you're not in control, because it's the 12th sign, it's the last sign, and it's the more connected to the source. And you're supposed to be led by the source. You're not an Aries. You're not meant to be taking control of things. You're not meant to be the leader there. You're supposed to
Mhm.
be just going with the flow. And if you're like me, having other signs really strong that wants to have the control, this is a harsh lesson, but you do have to learn that. And last week and this week, it's a good energy to learn this. It's easier. So if you do have to learn this as a Pisces rising, moon, or sun, try to let go of this week and repeat to yourself that you're not releasing the control per se. You're just taking care of yourself, and you're trusting that you're going to have the things that you're wanting in your life.
Mm.
Yeah. And I agree, guys. And I think like Pisces energy is such like a hard energy to bring down to the 3D because it's like source energy. So it's beautiful when you think about it. It's so fucking pure.
Mhm.
Sorry, I swore.
All good.
Sorry, Tracy. And it's so pure and it's so magical. So let's say it's unconditional love, but bring it down to the 3D level, and it's gonna be so hard to, because we all have like shadow work to do. We all have a lot of uh, shadow parts to integrate before we can really connect on this level with someone else. So I think it's the main challenge is to bring this very pure and very magical energy to this realm without, let's say, stepping too much into this illusion part.
Yeah, so if you add on top of it that we have Neptune in the Pisces, it's like you're Pisces, and on top of it, your GPS is broken.
Exactly.
Your GPS is broken.
But that was a good advice, Megan. I'm going to try to listen to more of my friends' advice while I have this Neptune square my moon.
Yeah.
Oh, and Meg, you gave me another advice to survive in those times of Neptune and Pisces. You said to me, try to not be too much on TV, cell phones. Screens are really bad for Neptune.
So true.
Do you have other tricks like that?
Yeah, I'm so happy you said that because I was actually feeling that today. Like after I had done my consultations for the day, and in the morning I had looked at social media on my phone, it was like, get off the screens, get some real reality of what's going on. Pisces in astrology rules screens. The arts, so movies and anything we watch on the screens, right? So we need to balance that out with this particularly conjunction that we're going to have of Venus and Pisces together. Venus and Neptune in Pisces. It's messing up my words. This influence by getting some nature, right? So the opposite sign of Pisces is Virgo, which is so cool, Sophie, that you are a Virgo with your rising Pisces.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, yeah. But to balance any sign, we can look at the opposite sign and see what that one is all about, right? So Virgo is one of the earth signs, super grounded, practical. What you were saying in your weekly reading, and I think at the beginning of this show too, Sophie, about decluttering, that's total Virgo, right? So if we're feeling really Pisces and kind of like, okay, what's going on? I haven't had a drink, but I feel drunk, or that guy with the, no shoes was hot, whatever.
Right, I'm going to think about that for a while.
I know. Yeah. It's like we can do something Virgo in nature to balance us out. Cleaning, decluttering, eating something healthy, and
decluttering your bedroom, because bedroom is ruled by Pisces. Yeah, and Sophie was talking about decluttering a lot during her Beyond Tarot. Oh, that's such a good advice.
Don't forget underneath the bed, because that's the place in Feng Shui that rules relationship, underneath the bed. And sometimes we take that space as storage, but it blocks the energy. So if you want someone new to come in, or if you just want to have some fresh energy in your current relationship, release what is under it. I know it's practical. As a Virgo, I get it, but you do need to make some room there. So it's a space that you need to cleanse from anything there.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. Ben says, I'm Pisces Sun, Aquarius Moon, Aries Ascendant, and I'll be taking a hike up a mountain, Spirit Lead, Wild Horse Mountain. I can't wait. Wow, that's great, Ben. I think it's like truly a balancing energy, especially for someone who has a strong Pisces like you. Wow. Yeah. And every time everybody is going to go through this highly activated Pisces. So I feel like what Meg was saying about nature can all apply to all of us. Look, I know it's not necessarily ideal weather like for us right now. We had a snowstorm, so it's not ideal. But if you can manage to do something outside, it can help also, I feel. And what else would be Virgoan, but also in nature? I'm trying to think.
In nature.
If you guys have other ideas, let us know in the chat. We'll great advice here. Yeah.
Also, Virgo, as you guys know, is also organizing, right? So not just cleaning, but organizing. So I have my sun in the 6th house of Virgo in my birth chart. So even though I'm not a Virgo, I have a little bit of that influence. So I find it really relaxing to actually have my calendar and like just organize it and like highlight things. And that like really, that helps to calm me down and get me grounded.
Right. And
That's
that's
declutter your schedule. That's one of the things that I named, because you do have we're still in this energy of the winter. We're still in this energy of the new year will be in the spring for astrology. So we still need to make some room for what we want to attract next. So your schedule, maybe you need to just remove some things that are too demanding on you.
Yeah, good point. And I just want to add to this that when you said, Meg, about the last Astro Decode that we did, we talked about Pisces. And I just want to mention here that even though you're not like, say, a Pisces sun or a Pisces rising or a moon in Pisces, we all have the archetype of Pisces somewhere in our chart. Whoops.
Something fell. I have a cat, so something fell.
Getting excited. So we all have this Pisces archetype somewhere in our chart. So we all have this transit happening in some of our houses. So look out where Pisces fall in your chart, and you'll see where you have this, let's say, more artistic potential or romantic or spiritual energy coming, activating this part of your chart for you. So I think this is going to be very important to do. Okay, so next I wanted to go and talk briefly about the full moon that's coming up on February 5th. So I have a slide somewhere. Let me find it. Okay, right here. So yes, so on February 5th, we're going to have a Leo full moon. And so this full moon will be in the sign of Leo, 16 degrees. So sun and moon will be opposing each other. But this one, I think, is going to be a very interesting one because it forms a T-square with the planet Uranus. So a T-square is kind of one of the harshest aspects in astrology. It has a good side to it, but we're going to live it through more of a challenging experiencing, let's say, than a more smooth energy. So the T-square is when the sun and the moon, or other points in the sky, but this time it's the sun and the moon opposing each other. And on one side, it's going to make a 90-degree angle to in this case, the planet Uranus, and a 90-degree angle to the other point. So it's kind of a triangle energy, but a very, let's say, a high tension aspect. And we all know that full moons can bring a lot of emotional energy. It's very tense. It's highly emotionally charged. And Uranus is kind of a big, how can we call that? Like a big energetic
tower energy.
Sorry, Sophie?
It's a tower energy, correct?
Yeah, good point. A kind of a tower card energy, yes. So Uranus brings changes. So abrupt changes can come around this full moon. It can be sort of felt like an emotional roller coaster for some, but for sure there's going to be surprises and possibly shocks for a lot of us. So I want to talk about how to best navigate this, because I feel that it's going to be very charged emotionally speaking, and because we're going to probably feel a lot of different changes in our personal lives, and maybe also on the collective, on the world stage. So this instability is probably going to create a lot of reactivity. So I think we're going to have to watch for this. And this T-square is happening all in fixed signs. So meaning that some kind of change in a previous stability might be happening around this full moon. And at the same time, we'll have a square between Venus and Mars, the two cosmic lovers. So this is not necessarily bad, even though it's a square, because Venus and Mars bring a lot of passion, a lot of intensity, desire. So let's say if you have a chart between two lovers and they have a square between them, Venus and Mars, it's actually good usually. It means there's a lot of attraction. But let's say the downside of this is that it could lead to potential conflicts between men and women because they're both ruled by Mars and Venus, each of them. So very reactive full moon. So I think we're all going to be have to be very careful. But the good thing about this full moon is that I think for creativity, I think it's going to be amazing. Leo's the sign of creation, of fun, of any kind of creativity endeavor is Leo ruled. And Uranus brings downloads. So if you're looking for more inspiration in your life, more drive, I think it's going to be a very important full moon to embrace that energy. And maybe you're going to get some downloads for something you want to achieve in your life, you're going to pursue. So I'm going to ask each one of you, what do you think? Sophie, do you want to start about your intuition for this full moon?
Can it be also given birth? Because it's a full moon and in Leo. Do you think it could be that?
For some, I think it could even be like surprise pregnancies.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, I think you're right. That could be a theme coming up. Yes.
Let's check what the cards want to say about this full moon in Leo.
Thank you, Paris. Thank you, everybody who donated. We appreciate you. And thank you for everybody still sharing the chat and this space with us tonight. It's very lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, okay. I can see why you're saying that it's going to be square with Uranus, because we do have Queen of Sword energy. So we do have words finally spoken. So maybe something that you didn't want it to share, or you didn't know about it, that you had it inside. Now you're finding the words, maybe not exactly the right ones, but you're finding some words to speak about it. It says Two of Swords next, so something that maybe you kept inside for a long time that was stuck. That Two of Swords, it's normally someone with two swords like this, so it's a blockage energy. Swords or mental energy or words. So with the Queen of Swords, you're getting out of this this blockage, and we do have Five of Swords. So a lot of mental energy, I would say. Five of Swords are confusion. You're getting out of that confusion. You're speaking your mind, and it can be surprising. So that because we do have Queen there, but all of this is confusion and blocking energy. I think you can have something resurfaces that you didn't even know that was there. You can find out that you feel a certain way, or you're going to have a haha moment about, okay, that's why I was unhappy. That's why I felt that way. And speaking up about this, I have two cards of Oracle that I taken from my deck. So I have the Mask. You played a role for a long time. Now masks are coming off. I hope it's also in the system, but this is in your life. So the mask that you were wearing, and we have the aprons of service. You were giving. You were playing a role, and you tried to convince yourself in any area of your life that you were happy, that you were in the right place. And now you're going to say what is truly inside of you. What will happen with that? It will depend for every situation. But maybe in your job, maybe in your relationships, any kind of relationships, maybe in your role with family, society, anything, the mask is coming off, and you're going to speak what is really inside of you, how you feel, and it will be liberating.
Wow. I can't wait for that. And that totally makes sense with this Uranus energy, which is kind of like the rebel, the, let's say,
the outcast,
things that are on your mind. So Meg, does that ring a bell to you? Do you want to add something? What's your vibe about, how do you feel about this full moon?
Yeah, so I think it's interesting because the aspects for this full moon in Leo are a little bit intense, to say the least, right? We've been having,
you're being so graceful.
Yeah, like we've been having so much intense stuff that I don't know about you guys, but it just feels like, yeah, okay, like kind of like jaded to all the intenseness we've been going through, right? But Leo, this is what I've been saying I've been feeling so guided to say to everyone who's a Leo sun, moon, rising, North Node, or if they have a Leo stellium in their chart, or fifth house stellium, which is the house of Leo. We need your energy, actually, I think, in my opinion, more than anything else right now, because Leo rules having fun. It's the light. It's the sign attuned to the sun. The sun rules Leo. We need to enjoy life. We need to be having fun. We need to be connected with our inner child, our magical self, the creativity and celebration of life. So when we are in alignment with what really makes us happy and joyful and turns on our inner child, makes our inner child happy, that is the ultimate protection from anything that's a weird energy, from any weird aspect, from any, there's a word I'm trying to say, but I'm having a brain fart. Not distractions, interference. When we are in our light of what makes us joyful and celebratory of life and grateful to be in the moment, that is the ultimate protection to what is going on. And I feel like a lot of these intense aspects and things that we're going through is that, like Sophie said, that Tower card, you know, that's going to keep being around until, you know, this system that we've been under of the bad guys really falls. And we are winning, the light is winning, and things are just kind of falling like this, domino, 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 instead of all the dominoes falling at once, which would be way too intense. Does that make sense?
It does. It does make a lot of sense. Yeah. So basically, you're saying that you think that people that are, let's say, more closer to their inner child and they're honoring their inner child are going to feel maybe this full moon easier, or what can you say about that? Like, how do you think it's going do you think the changes are going to be more internal or external, whether you're in alignment or not? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Yeah. So, you know, the full moons, every time we have a full moon, like you guys know, they're cleansing times. So we're all collectively going through a cleansing. But the other cool thing about a full moon is it's the illumination time. When the moon is full outside, it shines light on everything, right? So it's not just a cleansing time, it's an illuminating time where we can use that illumination to illuminate ourselves. And with it being a Leo full moon, illuminate what gives us joy and enjoyment and having fun in life. So for me, like, I really love, you know, music and spirituality. And when I'm in those vibrations, I feel great and I feel really happy to be alive. And we all have different things that we love to do. So I would say that during this full moon in Leo, focus on what your passions are, the things that you love to do. And it is a cleansing time, but this isn't a heavy cleansing time, I don't think. There's things happening collectively that are playing out, but it doesn't have to be intense for us. It feels like more of a collective thing.
I love it because, you know, I'm a Leo rising. So I've been looking at this full moon like, what's going to happen? I love it, Meg. So talking about full moons, we have this amazing full moon singing bowl meditation coming up, and it's tomorrow. So you can still register online. It's on MAISONJupiter.com. This is going to be led by Elena, and Janine's going to be part of it also. Jean-Claude will be there. I will be there too. So Janine's going to pull cards regarding the intentions, and Elena will guide us through a live activation meditation with singing bowls. So we just picked that with the astrology. It was the perfect timing for sound healing, for frequency healing. And we're all trying to take this, let's say, group energy, focusing our energy together for world healing, but also for personal healing. So this is going to be aligned with the Leo full moon in mind. So let's say navigating this full moon as best as we can and using this creative potential to create the world that we want for the world, but also for ourselves. So please join if you haven't joined already. You can register on MaisonJupiter.com. It's a sliding scale principle, so you can donate whatever feels best to you. And if you are in financial difficulty, you can write to the email that's in the description of the product, and we will make sure that you're going to be joining us too. So yeah. So lastly, just before we take a question from you guys in the chat, I just wanted to say once again, if you want to book with either Sophie or Meg, you can do so on MaisonJupiter.com. So we have the 1 hour, the 30-minute with Sophie that's available right now. You can also use BeyondMystic in one word to book with her. And if you want to book with the astrology side of Maison Jupiter with Meg, you have the 1 hour, 1 year personal forecast, or the 1 hour 30 birth chart astrology reading with Meg. So don't forget your Beyond Mystic coupon code for 10% off. Did I say everything I had on my list? Oh my God, I'm so not used to this, but I think we are doing a good job, guys.
You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Can I ask you guys something?
Sure.
So we have a comment that Common Sense, username Common Sense, has asked a couple times, which is, what is going on with the green comet? Have you guys heard about this?
A little bit, but not too much. Do you want to? I'll try to find the comment.
Yeah. So I don't know too much about this, but supposedly there is a green comet that is going to be passing so close to the Earth tomorrow, closer than I think any comet we've had in a very long time. And it's feeling very significant. I'm seeing Common Sense mention it here, and I've heard some other people mention it. And, you know, whenever we have something that's like a significant comet coming really close by, or some heavenly force coming close by, it activates our cosmic consciousness. And a lot of really prominent world events or things can happen when we have some sort of body coming close to the Earth that's from a really foreign place.
It's funny that
so
it's green.
I'm just curious what you guys feel about that, and I'm happy that Common Sense brought that up.
Yeah, I can find your chat comment, Common Sense, but I have RK Junior here saying green equals heart. So I haven't heard that it was a green comet. I heard just comet before, but it's interesting because Leo full moon is going to activate the heart chakra.
Right.
So maybe we're all going through a heart chakra activation. So if you want to pull cards on this, maybe?
Yeah.
And that was exactly what I was about to say. So the green, for me, it's the heart chakra healing, the Leo energy. So let's check.
Good point, Meg, bringing that up.
And yeah,
Go ahead.
Just some people are mentioning something in the comments, Prism Dana, and some other ones saying supposedly this might be tied into a Hopi prophecy. This green comet, that's very interesting. I didn't know about that.
Interesting. I'm going to have to research this a little bit more before we talk about it in details. So Sophie, whenever you're ready.
So I have 4 cards, 2 messages. The first one is 444, which I kept seeing since since this summer. This is the security. This is you're safe. You are safe. You have a good foundation, and you're being watched. So this it's really funny that we have this in a shape of a planet or a comet. So this is really good that we have this one. Underneath, as a detail card, I have the 6 of Cups, so unconditional love. So the heart is really activated through that. And you're going to laugh at the next one because I have the Leo energy with the and on top of it, I have the horns dominance. So with the Leo cards, I think that it's actually something that is sent to us so we can rule by our heart, rule through our heart chakra, and activate the good in us so we can stay out maybe of the head energy and into our heart more, to use it to heal and to use it to spread the love, spread the joy, and change the vibration.
Wow. I love all the synchronicities of this show because
Oh,
we started
cool.
talking about Neptune and Venus, this soulmate, loving energy. It ties in so beautifully with this full moon in Leo activating the heart chakra. So, wow, this is great. I have
Mm.
a question that I start from earlier. Okay, so this is not really a question, but I think it's worth looking into. So Star Traveler says, I just want my higher guides to communicate with me again. They are silent. So Sophie, do you think we could look at why Star Traveler's guides are silent? Is there a message? Is there something to learn about this?
1111 underneath the deck, as I say that, green energy.
Oh my
Wow.
God.
I would say that it's a time to connect through your heart, but in a more physical way this time. I felt a push when you asked that question physically, so it's my sign from your guides to maybe connect with them in a different way, and that may be why you're having some difficulty right now, because you're used to a certain kind of message, to maybe through dreams, through visions, through voices. I don't know what kind of normally communication you get from them, and they want to use a new way that it may be more physical. So check on your health, check on your with physical chills. Sometimes it can start with that, or sensation, feelings in your body that can be different. So you can feel joy, you can feel the chills are really the bigger one for me. And it's just that they're not silenced, they're just using a new way so you can upgrade with something else.
Wow, great advice. Thank you, Sophie. JC just sent me this. So it says green comet will appear in the sky, the night sky, for the first time since Stone Age.
Wow.
And here we have a
This is
picture.
significant. So it must be visible for some of us then.
Yeah, so it's been discovered last year, so very recently.
Mm.
Wow, okay. Interesting.
Interesting.
We're gonna go through another question. Well, I'm not sure it's a question, but we're gonna turn it into one. So Gypsy Mama says, and I want your take on this too, Meg. I'm gonna start with Sophie. So I've seen 444 and 144 a lot lately, and me too. So do you have a message for Gypsy Mama as what can it mean? Is it related to the 144,000? Maybe someone else was saying that in the chat. What's your feeling on this, Sophie?
So my feeling on this is that 444 is outside energy telling you you're safe, and 1 would be the number of Aries, yourself having to feel safe. So for me, it would be an upgrade. Once more, it's telling you the universe has your back. You're feeling guided to feel safe. You're okay. But now they want you to also embody that energy of stability, safety, and be your own safety net. So this energy of Aries being activated inside of you. So you are your own emperor card. You are your own safety. And it's going to be more, I'm talking in the cards tonight because some of you are going to learn tarot cards. And for those of you who are learning, it will be practical to know that. I think, Gypsy Mama, you're entering in the energy of the Nine of Pentacles, the female that is really abundant and stable on her own with that 144. And that's what is really asked of you at this point, but you're doing it.
Wow. Great message. Meg, do you have another intuition about those numbers? What do you feel?
I feel like when we see any triple numbers, it's very much about being in alignment. So I always feel like no matter what the numbers are, it's like, okay, we're in alignment. We're on the right track. And 444, I know, is very attached to the angelic realm as well. Everything, Sophie, you said that definitely resonated with me. But I do feel it's the angels as well. Hopefully that resonates with you, Gypsy Mama. You know, we all have our guardian angels, soul-appointed angels around us. And so they're with you. And 144 is a very interesting number, I feel, of spiritual activation. So this may be a time where you're getting a lot of downloads, a lot of maybe life changes, guidance on your direction of life. So those are good numbers to be getting, very high vibrational.
Yes, I agree. Cool. So before we end the show with some guidance from our two oracles here tonight. I just want to mention that, we have another guest tonight.
Yes.
Sam is here.
Oh,
Hey, Sam. So, yes, tomorrow we have a very busy day, as you can see. So that's going to be our Wednesday starting at 12 p.m. Eastern, so noon Eastern. An amazing show with the one and only Meg Moonbeam. So Beyond Astro on Beyond Mystics YouTube. So that'll be at noon Eastern. At 3 p.m. Eastern, we have the full moon monthly meditation with Elena, Janine, Jean-Claude, and I. So register now on MaisonJupiter.com if you want to be a part of it. And at 7 p.m., we're here again with Meg and I for our Astro Decode on compatible relationships. So please join us too for this amazing episode. And at 8 p.m. ET, we have the Beyond the News with Jean-Claude and Janine, and that's going to be on beyondmystic.net, so pay-per-view or IAP members. And Thursday, we're going to have the now famous pick a card with Sophie on Maison Jupiter YouTube. I always love to do those pick a cards. And we have also the Rumble show. And to finish the week, we have at noon Eastern our little meditation with Elena that's going to do some bowl singing activation. So let's go into what do you feel you can tell the people watching the show as to, let's say, some guidance to have for this week coming up. So Meg, first of all, do you have an intuition? Do you have an energy you want to talk about?
I think this is a huge week with the full moon in Leo. Again, like I was saying before, connecting to the light of life, what we enjoy doing. Maybe we want to be putting a little less time on focusing on what's going on the outside world, just detaching from that energy and doing what we love to do, and enjoying life. Also being around the people we love. Leo, like you said, it's the heart chakra. It's the sign that rules the heart. So being around our loved ones. And I don't know why, I know this is really random, but I know several people that have had things happen with their cats, having to have emergency surgeries over the last few days. And you too, Sophie?
Yeah, she's very sick at the moment. Her eyes is swollen and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Something is going on with the cats right now, because this is totally not normal this week. And it is a full moon in Leo, and that is the lion.
Yeah, Nicolas Stoyanovich used to say that Leo is a sign of cats.
Right. Yeah, so totally. So I would say our kitty babies, our kitty family, I would say be around them, be around the cats. We can really tune into their energy. I think they're going to be transmuting a lot for the collective. So if you have cats, be around your cats, love your cats. Or maybe you want to get into that cat energy yourself somehow, connecting to the cats and the wild cats of the world. And then also, I think this comet, which I'm just hearing about today and yesterday, so I have to look more into it, but intuitively, this feels like a really big deal. So let's look into, if we can see it from wherever we are in the world listening to this right now, because when we can actually see things in the sky, when we look up at the sky, we get activated. Our cosmic consciousness gets activated. So it's really powerful. And someone in the comments, Rachel S., this was like a while ago, Rachel S. said, I think of Moldavite with this comet. And that is such a good point, Rachel S., because Moldavite, for those of you crystal lovers or mineral lovers, it's not really crystal, but Moldavite is a mineral or stone that's from a meteorite that landed in the Czech Republic long time ago. I think even longer than it's being told. And so something about that's a green meteorite, and this one coming through is green again. So if you guys have Moldavite,
wow,
maybe you want to meditate with it this week and connect with that, wear your Moldavite if you have it. So I think this is a big week of spiritual activations and tuning into our heart and just enjoying this energy of this time that we're in right now. What do you guys think?
I love this. Yeah. So do you have something to add to those beautiful words by Meg?
Yeah, absolutely. It's a week to be in your youthful energy. So I don't know for you, but I will be on my trampoline listening to whatever old 90s music that I want to without feeling bad about it, and eating sugar. Not everything it needs to be in the Capricorn energy or the Virgo energy. We need sometimes, not always, we need a balance. And I think this week, with this full moon, we can do some, we can go in the orange energy that Meg is wearing, that sacral chakra, where we connect with their inner child and we have fun and we do balance that out. I think that it's going to be a fantastic week where I will not say no to sugar.
Well, in astrology, Venus rules sugar. So Venus in Pisces is very much about enjoying the pleasures, and it's okay, not feeling guilty necessarily about it.
Yeah.
I love it, Sophie. So, well, thank you everybody for sticking up with us until the very end. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe on Beyond Mystic's YouTube channel. And don't forget to also subscribe to Maison Jupiter's channel. We're having new shows coming up every week. So thank you everybody for watching and commenting on the chat. Thank you, ladies. That was an amazing time that we shared together. Thank you for your knowledge, your advice, and your beautiful energy. So thank you, everybody, and see you soon.
Thank you. Love you.
Thank you, guys. Bye.